My child, stop right here. Do not move past this. As your eyes rest on these words, you may sense something stirring within you, something you can't fully explain yet. That pull in your spirit, that quiet stirring within you. This is me, drawing you closer. I am meeting you in this moment with a weight you have not sensed from me before. And I need you to hear me without turning away, without second guessing, without letting your mind scatter, because this is urgent. I am not speaking lightly. I am not coming as a soft whisper like so many times before. I am pressing my voice into your spirit, because this moment is filled with purpose, timed with care, and guided by my hand. Listen, this matters. Open your heart to this right now. Don't push it aside again. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying it because I love you too much to let you drift from what I am bringing into your life. You may be closer than you think to what I am beginning to unfold. You are nearer than you think, nearer to clarity, to healing, and to the next step of the answer I am forming in you, even when it felt far away. And because you cannot see what I see, and cannot feel the full weight of what is moving beyond what your eyes can measure, I am stepping in with urgency right now. Stay with me. Do not rush past this. What is unfolding here is meant to be received slowly, deeply, and with an open heart. Do not turn away from this moment or postpone it in your mind. If you set this aside as you have done before, you risk passing what was meant to redirect your steps. My child, this is not an overstatement. Something is carried within these words that your spirit requires now, not later, not when it feels easier. This moment is unlike the others, and you may sense that truth rising within you. You have heard my quiet promptings before and pushed them down when life felt heavy, when pain, confusion, or fear crowded your heart. You walked past the signs set before you, naming them coincidence, telling yourself they meant nothing. You wondered if it was truly me, when it was me all along. You avoided the warnings because you knew they would ask something of you: change, honesty, surrender. I allowed you to continue, never abandoning you, staying near, waiting for you to recognize my reach. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted, Psalm 34:18. But this moment stands apart. Its weight is greater than before, its timing precise. I am calling you again with clarity. What is opening now matters deeply, and it carries the power to realign your heart and awaken what has been waiting within you. This moment stands at the meeting place of where you have been and where you are being led, the narrow bridge between memory and promise, the quiet breath before change begins. That is why my voice carries urgency now, mixed with compassion for the weight you've carried, and strength enough to keep you from returning to cycles that no longer serve you. Something greater has already been prepared. Understand this clearly. You did not arrive here by chance. You were not led by habit or accident. Your spirit was drawn by a pause you couldn't explain, a pull you couldn't ignore, a knowing that asked you to stop. That drawing was me. I brought you here because your heart has reached a readiness it did not have before. What I have been offering you for so long can finally be received. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. A window is opening for you, a season of alignment. Do not treat it lightly. This is not a warning meant to frighten you. It is truth your spirit already recognizes. This is divine timing, my nearness drawing close. This is my hand resting over yours, steady and sure, calling you to listen now. You have been carrying more than anyone ever saw. Long days that felt hollow, nights that stretched on without relief. You kept yourself together while your heart was quietly cracking under the weight. Yet none of it escaped my sight. You wrestled with questions that would not rest, fears that shook your confidence, wounds that still ached despite time passing. I did not watch from a distance. I stood near, close enough to feel every tear, steady enough to hold you when your strength failed. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. When you felt yourself unravel, I pressed reassurance into your spirit. When danger moved unseen, I shielded you. Still, you told yourself you were alone. You were not for a breath, not for a moment, not even when my presence felt quiet. Now I step in again, not softly, not faintly, but with clarity and force. Listen, something long sealed within you is ready to open. This moment can redirect your steps, break cycles that confined you, bring light where confusion lingered, and realign you with the life prepared for you. What begins here has the strength to change everything. That is why my voice presses in with urgency now. That is why your attention is being drawn, why your heart feels stirred, warm, tense, awake. Deep within, you may recognize my voice, even if your thoughts are still catching up. You feel noticed in a way you can't explain, reached in a way you didn't expect. Something within you is shifting, as if the ground beneath your soul is moving. I am breathing hope into your life, awakening what has been quiet for too long. These words are not ordinary, they mark a threshold, a crossroads where direction is decided. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. I have been reaching for you even in the places you felt hidden, and I am reaching for you now. Hear this clearly. What is carried here touches your future, not as a threat, but as truth spoken in love. This is the final call of this season, not silence to come, but the last alert before change begins. A narrowing window, a chance to open your heart before what is already in motion arrives. You are not overlooked here. You are chosen, held, fully known in this moment. Your spirit is awake, my nearness unmistakable. Let yourself be steady now, because what follows will reach deeper than before. When I speak of final, I am not leaving you. I am marking a turning point. You stand at a spiritual intersection. What unfolds next will answer how you respond now. I have guided you through many gentle signals, patient and persistent, waiting for your heart to pause and truly hear. This time carries weight. This time asks for your attention fully. This moment is unlike any before it. Its timing carries a weight that will not return in the same way, because heaven has aligned something precise and fragile for your path. What you notice or fail to notice right now matters more than you realize. You have reached a place where your next step depends on recognizing my voice, trusting my direction, and responding without delay. You are no longer being guided only through quiet adjustments. You are standing at the edge of a decision that calls for your consent, your openness, your readiness to move. That is why my words carry strength. That is why the urgency feels heavier. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3-5. You are at a true spiritual crossroads. One way leads forward into healing, growth, clarity, and alignment with what gives life. The other pulls you back into cycles that drained you, patterns that wounded you, fears that ruled you, and delays that already cost you much. I am here, steady and near, drawing you toward the path that restores your soul. Hear this clearly. Choosing not to respond does not end my love, but it does invite delay. It opens the door to confusion that could have been avoided and postpones blessings meant for this season. When I speak of timing, I speak truth. Some doors open only when the heart is ready. Some healings begin only when you release control. There are breakthroughs that require your participation. When heaven brings every thread together at the right moment, the opening is precious. If passed over, it does not disappear forever, but what was meant to arrive in beauty and fullness may come later than it needed to. And you may feel this tension because something in you senses how much this moment matters. You sensed movement within you before you could name it. A restlessness that lingered without reason, a gentle pressure in your heart, as if something ahead was calling you forward. Emotions rose unexpectedly. Old memories surfaced. Long-buried fears stirred. Desires awakened. Questions began to press in. None of this was random. These were signs your spirit was being readied for transition. Even when you didn't understand it, even when you couldn't recognize it as divine movement, your heart was opening slowly, quietly, sometimes through discomfort, making space for what I have been preparing to place within you. The Spirit Himself bears witness with our spirit, Romans 8:16. That is why this moment is called final. Not because I have stopped reaching for you, but because this is the last movement in a long unfolding, bringing you to readiness. This is the final momentum before the shift, the last call before direction changes. The whisper that must now rise into a voice you can no longer dismiss. Every gentle nudge before this met resistance, but this moment cannot be dismissed. That is why my tone carries urgency now, because what has been forming within you is ready to move, and what comes next requires your awareness, fully awakened. You asked me for clarity. You asked for signs, for direction, for a clearer path. You asked me to make myself known. I heard every word. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Isaiah 65:24. I saw every moment confusion clouded your choices. Every pause, fear forced upon you. Every time doubt made you question who you were becoming. I saw the hunger in your heart for something real, steady, healing. I saw you searching for answers on your own when you could not yet hear mine. I watched you move forward with courage mixed with trembling. I saw your heart quietly breaking while you kept going. And I waited not for perfection, but for openness. You are here now, not because you did everything right, but because suffering softened you. Weariness lowered your guard. Longing grew louder than distraction. Your spirit reached a place where it could feel me again. This moment is not meaningless. In ways you may not see yet, I have drawn you here so these words could meet you. And I speak with deep compassion because I see what you cannot yet see. I see the blessing approaching, and I see what would try to pull you away. I see the healed version of you ahead, and the pain that remains if you return to what once wounded you. I see opportunities forming, and how easily they could be missed if your heart closes again. I see the love prepared for new seasons, and the loneliness that follows if you cling to what hurt you. I see the clarity waiting to fill your mind, and the confusion that lingers when your spirit is ignored. This is not a threat, it is truth. Delay carries danger, timing matters. When I say this is final, I speak of decision, not distance. This is the last call before the shift, the final invitation before the blessing unfolds. I am not stepping away. I am drawing closer, asking for your full choice. The road ahead asks for surrender. The next chapter asks for your attention. You cannot move forward while holding what broke you. You cannot step into blessing while gripping old wounds. You cannot receive what is new while returning to what I am removing. This moment is where your heart meets my intention. You are more open than you have been in years, more aware, more ready. Pain shaped you, loss humbled you, waiting trained you. Tears softened you, loneliness led you back to me. Everything you endured prepared you for now. I speak with compassion because I know you're suffering. I speak with seriousness because this moment matters. I speak with urgency because I know what is coming. And I speak with love, determined that you will not be pulled back into another cycle of delay or heartbreak. Let your heart grow still. Let your spirit receive what is unfolding. My child, let me reach the quiet rooms of your heart, the places no one else sees, the places you hide behind a steady face and a tired smile. I know how worn you are within, how drained your soul feels, how heavy it has been to carry all of this alone. Confusion has stayed with you longer than you expected. You've tried to understand emotions that rise and fall without warning, thoughts that circle without rest, clarity that slips away just as you reach for it. You feel pulled toward change yet afraid of it, unsettled even when nothing obvious seems wrong. This inner unrest did not come from nowhere. Confusion has settled like a fog, dulling trust in your choices, your instincts, even my voice at times. And when the way forward feels hidden, a quiet emptiness follows, not loud or dramatic, but hollow. A weight in your chest that makes each day feel heavier, slower, less alive, as if something essential is missing and you cannot name it. You grew tired of trying to fix yourself, to stay hopeful, to hold everything together, to be strong for everyone else, to keep moving when your heart kept pulling you back. The pressure of always being resilient, dependable, forgiving has worn you down. I see how deep that weariness runs. You felt distant within your spirit, not because you stopped caring, not because you turned away, but because your heart was overwhelmed. You questioned whether you were heard, whether you were enough, whether I was near. That distance is not failure. It is the result of carrying more than your heart could hold. So numbness crept in, not by choice, but by survival. You stopped feeling deeply, not because nothing mattered, but because everything mattered too much for too long. Motivation faded, energy thinned. Even the things you once loved felt heavy. Tasks that were simple now feel overwhelming, not from weakness, but exhaustion. You have been running on empty, without rest or renewal. Your heart has been signaling its need for healing, for comfort, for me. And in all of this, you felt unseen, noticed for your strength, but not your wounds. Invisible in your pain, unheard in your effort, forgotten not by others, but by the loneliness growing louder inside. You wondered if anyone truly understands you, if anyone sees who you really are beneath the layers. This invisibility shook your sense of worth and blurred your direction. You felt as though you were moving without a map, standing still while life rushed past, dreams fading, purpose dimming. Uncertainty left you hesitant. Each step forward met doubt. Each spark of hope faced disappointment. Hear this clearly. You are not lost because you failed. You feel lost because unhealed wounds have clouded your vision. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness. Psalm 23:3. What has been weighing you down is not the end of your story. It is the place where restoration begins. My beloved child, hear this clearly. I have been close through every moment you endured. When you cried and felt alone, I was with you in the quiet, guarding your heart, catching every tear before it fell. When you felt like you were breaking apart, I was holding each shattered piece together. Even when you could not sense me, I was strengthening what was giving way inside you. When confusion pressed in, I was guiding you gently. When emptiness settled, I was planting new life within you, seeds of hope, purpose, and identity, growing quietly, even when it seemed nothing was changing. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56:8. When you were too tired to keep trying, I stayed near, not pushing, not demanding, remaining with you so the weight would not crush you alone. I saw every silent cry, every trembling moment in the dark. I heard the thoughts you never voiced. I felt the fear you hid behind strength, the loneliness you never shared, the disappointment that settled deep after each setback. Not once did I leave you. Even when you doubted me, I was nearer than your own breath. My care for you is not fragile, it is steady, protective, and unchanging. I see your hidden battles with compassion. I meet your weariness with love, your tears with tenderness, your numbness with patience, your confusion without anger. I have walked with you through every season, every storm, every heartbreak. You were never abandoned. When you felt unsupported, I carried you through moments that would have broken you. When you felt unseen, I was watching every detail of your life. When you felt forgotten, your name was already written on my heart. I know how tired you are. I know what you've endured and how much pain you've held inside. That weariness is not weakness. It is proof you have been fighting battles too heavy to bear alone. You do not have to remain lost, numb, or exhausted. You do not have to pretend anymore. I am here. I have always been here, and I will remain until every part of you finds rest again. I see the places where pain settled deep inside you, like dust in rooms no one entered anymore. Nothing you carried, nothing you tried to hide escaped me. I saw every heartbreak, when love slipped from your hands, even though you gave all you had, when trust was broken in ways you couldn't explain, when pieces of your spirit fractured quietly. I saw the moments you wondered if your heart would ever feel whole again. I watched you stay strong while breaking inside, smiling through the ache, telling yourself healing would come while fearing it never would. Your pain was never unseen. I stood with you each time disappointment pressed down and longing stretched your hope thin. I saw every betrayal, the obvious and the subtle, friends who vanished when you needed them, promises broken, words used as weapons, loyalty left unanswered. I saw how those wounds taught you to guard your heart, to doubt love, to hesitate with vulnerability, to question your worth. Each betrayal etched caution into your spirit. I was there when tears fell not only from loss, but from shame for believing someone's sincerity. I saw every hope that went unanswered, every effort that seemed to yield nothing, every time life gave less than you poured out. Disappointment layered within you, growing heavier, until you blamed yourself for outcomes that were never yours to carry. You questioned your ability when timing and alignment mattered more than effort. You measured your value by doors that closed, not knowing they were paths you were never meant to walk. I saw every tear you cried alone in the quiet hours, the tears you hid by day, the ones that fell when fear and loss crowded your thoughts. You thought no one noticed. I counted every one. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted, Psalm 34:18. I held you in the dark when grief tightened your chest. I heard every unsteady breath, every silent sob, every cry your heart couldn't put into words. Nothing you released through longing, exhaustion, or pain went unheard. I saw the nights you tried to disappear under the weight you carried, the moments you shook from emotional fatigue, the times you told yourself you had no right to break, yet you did, and I was there through all of it. Not one ache passed me by. I saw wounds from childhood you thought time erased, moments of feeling unwanted, unheard, unloved, words spoken early that still shape how you see yourself. The loneliness you felt before you had language for it, the belief that love had to be earned, worth proven, weakness hidden. I held the child you were, and I hold the person you have become. I see the wounds from relationships you trusted, people who left without explanation, who took more than they gave, who promised consistency and gave none. I know how those wounds made you feel replaceable, insufficient, undeserving of healthy love. Hear this clearly. None of those wounds define your worth. They reveal brokenness you did not cause. I saw the failures that haunted you, the dreams that fell apart, the attempts that didn't succeed while you were only trying to survive. You judged yourself long after grace was already given. You let those moments speak lies about who you are. But I saw the courage behind every try, the hope you carried, the bravery it took to keep going. I never judged you for falling short. I saw your heart, and it is here, in these deepest places, that healing begins to rise. I honored you for getting back up again. Let these words settle within you and stay with me as I lead you forward.